Hey, what's up? It's Mykill Metal, and I'm playing some more Kerbal Space Program, and this is KSP 0.9 beta, or as they call it, beta than ever. And this is my first moon launch because I had to start a new save because I lost the last one. And this is going to be heading out towards the moon, grab some science, and fulfill the contracts. Use that stage, start the core up. And then here is the burn out towards the moon. It's about 840 meters per second of delta V, which is fine because I have like 2,400 left after that. There we go. And here's the burn to slow down to get ready for landing. I'm going to put it in that crater right below me. I'm going to try and put it in that little small one on the side. But as I get closer, I start to realize that it's not exactly flat, so I'm going to try and move it off to the side towards an area that is flat. And then once I get to a flat enough area, I'm going to cancel out the lateral velocity and slowly bring it in for a landing. Do some science and get out. Put a flag down. And I'm going to put Jeb's crater. One small step. At least it wasn't a splat. I'm going to jump back in. And I'm going to head on out back up to orbit. But one thing that I did forget to do on this run was I forgot to do some science while still in orbit of the moon, because I was too busy planning the burn back to Kerbal. And here's the re-entry. So I'm going to send another rocket that is going to do a couple of experiments in orbit, and then I'm just going to leave it there. And I'm having a problem with environmental enhancements, which gives me the clouds. As you can see, I got that like green lines going on. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll figure it out eventually. There, you can see it again right there. Got 3 of those small boosters. Just drop those off. I'm going to do this a little bit quicker so I can get to my Minmus mission. There we go, get about 150 science off of that. And send some more back. And now I'm ready for my Minmus mission. And this is called the Maximus, and it's going to be heading out towards Minmus, and it's going to be hopping all over the planet because it's got a decent amount of delta V. And one of the contracts that I have set up means that I have to come in over the pole and set up an orbit that's just under 7 kilometers, like that. And once I get close to this point right here, do science, and I get a nice, decent, fat amount of science from the contract. Now once I'm done with that, I'm going to time warp down here over to the equator, and I'm going to zero out the velocity and burn laterally along the equator, or at least where I am right now, because I'm going to head on over to that flats area. There we go, start the burn, and flip on over. Staging, there we go. And I'm going to burn retrograde a little bit just to get that set up so I land in the... Got a nice view of Kerbal over there, take a couple screenshots. I just want to land right in the middle of this. I kind of want to call it a lake, but I know it's not a lake. It just kind of looks cool. Like a lake. But whatever. going to zero out the velocity right here on the edge of it. I'm still in the slopes area, which is cool. I only have to go about 50 meters into the greener area to get some ratings on the flats. So right now, I'm just going to bring this in nice and slow. Try to keep it around 20 to 25 until I get within like 100 meters. Then I'm going to slow it down to about 5. And a little bit of a bounce. That's okay. I'm going to reset this so I can get a little bit of science from the surface. There we go. And take some surface samples and plant a flag. This time I'm just going to say Jeb was here. I'm going to head back in here and put this in there. And then I'm going to immediately get out and head on up the mountain to try and find, or towards the lake, to grab some different science from the Great Flats. And then, once I get this, I'm going to head on over to the map and plan my next spot, which is going to be that little flat area over there. So I'm going to burn this way. There we go. See Kerbal and the moon just come over the horizon right there. That was pretty cool. And I have distant object enhancement, so it does look cooler. Like you can see Eve and Moho and stuff from any orbit pretty much, and it looks pretty cool. Jewel looks the coolest because every once in a while you can see all of the moons at once, and it looks really awesome. Especially if you have a telescope mod, which I think I'm thinking about adding Cacti, the telescope. It's kind of like the Hubble, and doing some of that because it has some pretty awesome views. Right now I'm going to get set up for another landing, and once I do that, I'm going to grab a little bit of surface sample and EVA report from over here. I'm going to get back in. Just bring this in nice and slow. There we go. Nice soft touchdown. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to head on up this mountain right here because I know there's Midlands and I think Highlands. And once I find it, when I come in for a landing, you can see the monopropellant count. It's about half a tank. That's about as far as I go. As far as I go away from the ship, I don't want to go past like 2.5 and run out on the way back. So I'm gonna put that back in here, and I'm gonna head out another time to find the lowlands or the midlands. The first one was the lowlands. This one's the midlands. There we go. And I'm gonna head back towards the ship. And get back in. And I'm going to make one more little hop down a little bit, so I got to figure out what angle I'm going off at. There we go. I'm going to put that down there, because there's a couple of little lakes that might be like lesser flats and stuff. I'm not sure if I got that yet. There we go. I'm going to put this down right in this corner, right over here. Just bring this in nice and slow, let it speed up a little bit. I know that I got a pretty decent amount of thrust to weight ratio, so I can pretty much zero out the velocity at about 200 to 300 meters at like 50 or 60 meters per second, so I should be good. And there we go, a nice soft touchdown. I'm going to grab some science from over here. I'm going to put that back in there. Oop. And I'm going to take off this way to see if there's any more science. But there wasn't, so I came back, and now I'm getting ready to leave and head back towards Kerbal. Whoop, missed the door. There we go. Retract the gear, and head on off into space. And after the burn back, I come in underneath the South Pole and line up for landing. The one thing about this re-entry, though, is I didn't realize that there was a giant ocean on the other side of the mountain right in front of me, so I kind of had to hit the throttle a little early, and I popped the chutes while I'm still going through the re-entry effects, which technically, if I had deadly re-entry, would have been a problem, but just kind of looks stupid. There we go. And I still missed. So right now it's pretty much hope that the ship doesn't fall apart when it hits the water. Pretty much got it under 6 or 5 meters per second, something like that. So it is pretty good, and it doesn't fall apart. But I was kind of nervous. Actually, I was very nervous. So right now, I'm going to make sure this thing is still floating around. I kind of figured that I was going to grab some science out of the water, but I didn't. So I got like 1,600 science out of that. And that's going to be it for this one. So until next time, I'll see you later.
Dude, Ghost Bear is like the best pilot ever.
Just put us down somewhere, please.
Oh, buddy. And you got it.
In the water. Go in the water.
Alright,
please.
it's not gonna get there.